Okay, let's ask a question, a mystery of magnetism that we'll answer in upcoming videos. This is a huge N48 Gauss neodymium iron boron. It's 6 inches wide by 2 inches thick. And in the middle we have an N38 Gauss 1 inch sphere, rather a weak magnet. The dielectric inertial plane, incorrectly called the block wall, is marked off in white electrical tape. And here are two little 5 millimeter neodymium spheres on the top of that. Now this is sitting in the dead center of the centripetal field. Centripetal means coming down. Centrifugal is around the periphery of each and every edge of every face of every magnet. Centrifugal is leaving out, centripetal is coming in. That would be convergence versus divergence. Okay? Max velocity of any magnet, as any scientist knows, this is well known, is at the edge. Now, why is this sitting off axis? Did I put it that way? You see how it's tilted? See this perfect line behind the magnet? Why is that sitting off at this angle? That's the precession. You can read about it in the book Uncovering the Missing Secrets of Magnetism, kathoros.com/magnetism.pdf, or just Google Uncovering the Missing Secrets of Magnetism on Google. It's on archive.org, on Scribd, and every torrent site on Earth. It's had over 250,000 downloads within 1 week's time. See how that's sitting off at an angle? That's the precession rate mentioned in the book. So you can read about that. Now, let's take a look at what happens when we remove the spherical magnet from the centripetal field where it likes to rest. And, oh, it's a very powerful magnet. Very dangerous too. And let's look at it by placing it on the edge. Look at the drastic angle of precession along the centrifugal plane as it precesses around the magnet. You see the angle marked off in white tape? Watch it as I push it around this large neodymium. See the precession angle? Mother Nature does not work against herself, meaning low pressures do not go against high pressures. Nowhere, no way, no how, especially in elementary fields such as electromagnetism, gravity, dielectricity, electrification, and the 4 archetypes of field movement, which are centripetal, centrifugal, spatial, counterspatial, radial, and circular. You see this precession rate? This, of course, was a really strong field. The dielectric inertial plane, incorrectly called the block wall, separating out each quote-unquote pole of a magnet. Of course, a magnet does not have poles because this is due to field incommensurability. If you're able to take any magnet and cut it a million times, although that's slightly impossible to do that, the very topmost portion will have a south pole, which is not really a pole. There's only one direction of spin in any magnet. Okay, from one end it looks like it's going clockwise, from the other end it looks like it's going counterclockwise. This is the mind screw, excuse my crudity, of a spatial field. There's no such thing as a field expanding into space. Space is an attribute, secondary and posterior to a field itself. There's no field expanding into space. There's only a space within a field. So let's watch the precession again. So why is this magnet sitting at this exact same precession rate as it goes around the centrifugal maximum vortex of this enormous neodymium magnet? Remember, the field is coming out along the edge from the center, centrifugally, like a vortex. It's leaving the edge, it's reciprocating around to the other side is doing the same. It's returning centripetally right here. It's leaving centrifugally along the spatial edge of the geometry of the physical magnet here, reciprocating around to centripetally the center. That's why the precession angle is this specific radical angle on the centrifugal. And if I place the magnet in the center, although you can't see it as well, the precession angle is not so great. It's about 1/3. I've got the exact precession angle rates in the book, Uncovering the Missing Secrets of Magnetism. Download it and we'll discuss this later. The 3rd edition of the book is coming out soon. For the very first time, you'll have a correct understanding of magnetism. The very word magic is the basis of the word magnet. This has been one of the great secrets of mankind for all history. Socrates talked about it. He talked about magic induction at a distance. Of course, we'll also get into the book later in the 3rd edition as to why there is no such thing as instantaneous action at a distance. Actions within fields are occurring instantaneously, but the action is already within two fields that are intersecting each other. Instant means nothing because space is an attribute of a field. There are no fields expanding into space. There's only the space within a field or intersecting fields. This is how magnetic induction works, either in other ferrous materials or in the process of electrification. Okay? If you can wrap your mind around that, you might have some possibility of understanding things. If you take a look at the book, for the very first time ever, you'll have a correct understanding of what magnetism is and what's going on. It is a conjugate magnetodielectric symmetry. There'll be a whole new science in the future revolving around, excuse the pun, field incommensurability. In upcoming videos, things will be made more clear. I'll stack clarity upon clarity upon clarity, and at the end of which you will have a full, complete understanding of what magnetism is, and you will finally say to yourself, my God, it is just so simple. It can't be any other way. That explains everything, explains all observed phenomena. It's logical, it's simplex, it doesn't require stretching your imagination or credulity, and will eliminate the cult of quantum's explanation of magnetism, which is virtual photons, which is of course no different than evoking the notion of unicorns and leprechauns as mediating charges. We'll get rid of the cult of quantum, or as Professor Eric Dollard calls it, quantum mysticism. If you ever Google or watch on YouTube Richard Feynman's explanation of magnetism, he squirms in his chair like a frog on a hot plate trying to explain magnetism. It's better to say you don't understand something to make up nonsense and BS about something that you don't understand. The way things work in the world is that nobody goes seeking the answers for something that they think they already know the answer to. That's just the way the world works. Nobody's ever gone looking for something that they think they know the answer to. Unfortunately, however, out there, most people think we understand what magnetism is. Well, all these many thousands and thousands of years, we've had some insights. There have been people like Walter Russell and Eric Dollard and Charles Proteus Steinmetz and Maxwell and Faraday and Oliver Heaviside, who've had some insights. But download the book Uncovering the Missing Secrets of Magnetism, and like I said, the 3rd edition should be out within a month, and we'll have ongoing video series discussing how a magnet works, why it explains every phenomena, and simplicity is divinity, and we will not violate Occam's razor when it comes to explaining magnetism. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for upcoming videos of detailed explanations of magnetic phenomena. What is going on, what are the geometries, how a magnet works, why a magnet is not a magnet, but rather a dielectric object. If you actually knew how a quote-unquote magnet like this is created, you would understand. Read especially the gyroscopic analogy within the book, Uncovering the Missing Secrets of Magnetism. That will give you a very good analog of the magnetodielectricity field incommensurability within every magnet, and to why magnetism is incommensurable within any magnet, and while you could literally cut vertically any magnet 1,000,000 times, and the very topmost section will contain a quote-unquote south pole, and the very bottom section will also contain a quote-unquote north pole. It is field incommensurability. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.